Welcome back, everybody. More KSL. We're halfway through today's best of fives. Soma, he did it. He actually turned that series around. Very cool.
Yeah, and it does something else cool for us. We get a TvT match coming up next, and that makes me very happy. We'll talk more about that.
Christmas came early here for Artosis.
Yeah.
He gets his mirror matchup.
Well, we have to eliminate a Terran, so it'd be better in the winter match. Truthfully, the best round of 8 for me is 6 Terrans and then whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. One of those other 2 races.
Well, it's so rare to get professional TvTs.
Yeah.
It's like hilarious. You look at like spawn bang results, and it's like, you know, the matchups PVZ, ZVT, TVP, million billion.
Mm-hmm.
CVZ a couple, PvP a few, TvT 0. No one wants to see TvT
Nobody
except poor little Tosis.
Me as well. I don't want to see it either, but I'll cast it with you. I personally think it's the most garbage matchup in the game. But because you're a Terran player,
you need to fall into a garbage compactor, okay? Because
you mean I fall into a bunch of TvT matchups getting crushed at once? Is what you're saying?
That would make a TvT diamond. And
yes, it would, or a TvT garbage square.
I would take that over a diamond any day.
Yeah.
TvT's a beautiful matchup.
That's your diamond.
It's an amazing
But we're going to have it.
Yeah.
And it's not in this matchup. We're going to have a PVZ first.
No.
Oh, wait, no, are we doing the
No,
TvT
we're doing
first?
loser match first. But
Excuse
I think
me.
even before that, we might be looking at a highlight reel. Not entirely sure.
But I mean our next matchup.
Yes, our next matchup will be the TvT between Sharp and sOrry.
I swapped him.
sOrry banned
dropped the ball.
Blockchain and Sharp banned Match Point, just to throw that out there. Those are the 2 kind of weirder maps in the pool, so we're going to be seeing much more regular maps. It could be an extremely long series.
Probably will be.
TvT with Sharp is oftentimes very long because the way he plays TvT, he normally gets behind and then comes back.
Yeah. It's funny how TvT works because you really can get pretty behind and actually pull through.
Yeah.
It's one of the more difficult matchups to understand. We're going to look at some highlights here before we hop into that matchup, but we're going to have plenty of time to talk about TvT here for sure.
Yes.
So here's what we saw earlier on today. This is a great play here by sOrry. He actually gets the hatchery snipe.
Yeah.
And this appears to be a game where someone was trying to do what he eventually pulled off here in Game 5, but you know, he came out on top. It was a great series.
It was a very good build from sOrry. I think strategically he came very prepared for this map and did something that I really wasn't expecting, and I think that his opponent wasn't either, so great play.
And then here, this was pretty greedy here by Soma. Tried to do this Ling run by, absolutely did nothing.
Yeah.
Muta's eventually getting stuck in the main here, got down to 3. Again, Soma kind of fizzling out, if you will.
If you do that early Zergling attack and it doesn't do a bunch of damage, in that case it did none. Like, things aren't free. If you're buying all Zerglings instead of drones, then you lose them all, they don't do anything. You don't have a third base, you know?
Yeah.
This was a kind of cool one. The 8 racks into 1 base play. We actually, this part right here, this was perfect dealing with it because the reinforcements were right above here. If the reinforcements had came, he would have held on right there and you wouldn't have been able to break that as Soma. So,
right.
But once you break it, of course, Soma's in great shape.
Now this was another really exciting moment here. I actually thought sOrry was going to take it here. One of those dropships was shot down.
It was a great
it was now or never. All or nothing here. He gets the Defiler mount, he gets a Spire, but there's so many Ultras out, and he never lost any of those hatcheries here. So eventually sOrry was toppled here by Soma. Really exciting game.
Yeah, this was a cool one. A very good strategy, and he pulled it off really well the way he was running out with Speedlings early on. Don't forget, he took his 3rd hatchery before gas as a 3rd base, and sOrry wasn't able to stop that. Here, it felt all right for sOrry for a bit. He did get the command center build, command center first build. This seemed to be the. At first, I was thinking that this was all right, but it really wasn't. What if the thing is?
It really wasn't.
No, it truly was not. It's kind of tricky to play against some of these very aggressive Mutalisk plays because you want to find the 3rd base and they can hide it. So, like, what are you using your scans on? Because you also need to check if they're teching up. And if they're only on Mutas, then you actually have to identify that and get to Valkyries or to get to Vessels, one or the other. Because the bio over time, it's very hard to stop that.
So, coming up now, this is the losers match. One of these Terrans is going to be eliminated. Now, it's very safe to say that Sharp is supposed to win this, but let's see what sOrry can do.
Yeah, Sharp is a very strong TvT player. You know, in the Mu Pro League, he
I'd say
Flash
top 4 in the
match.
world, man. He's so good.
Easily, yeah. I think a lot of people rate him as one of the top 2, maybe even, because he's had a lot of good matches with Last. Now, realistically, I'm going to give you the true Mediatear and macro take on this.
Okay.
Sharp is good TvT. He wins a lot of games, but the way that he plays, if you are like trying to be the absolute best TvT player in the world, the way he plays isn't going to get you there.
Yeah. Why is that?
He basically gives up map control almost every game, and normally has to come back through very strong tactics, positioning, and dropship play. And a player, like for instance, if he and Flash played best of 5s until the end of time, I think Sharp would win none. No best of 5s.
I think that's fair.
Like he can take a map here and there, but it's just the way he plays. Like almost every player gets ahead of him in most of their TvTs against him, and then he comes back because he's very good at certain things in TvT. But yeah, there's this, just the fact that he never will win a Vulture war, and he never will have the first contain up, for instance. Like he'll be contained, you know, normally. Anyways, you'll see as we get into the game, because I'm not sure exactly how sOrry plays TvT, but yeah, I guess we'll just see.
What are you laughing about? Did I miss something?
sOrry's glare at his PC.
Oh,
man.
okay. You just started laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about to hop into this again. It's going to be on in the way of an Eddie, or just Eddie, if you will, to start things off here. Now, I don't know. This may be a 3-0. Again, TvT very long, very dramatic. It's hard to end it. It's easy to get a lead. It's easy to get an upper hand here, but it's not easy to close.
Yeah, so this is going to be a long one, I think. Eddie actually gives us some of the longest TvTs out of any ladder map that we have had since Remastered came out. Yeah. It is absurd how long TvTs can be on this map, because there are so many high ground locations. There's so many bases. There's islands. I mean, it can be crazy.
Okay, both of our players have joined the lobby. We are ready to start this up. Again, the loser is out of the KSL. The winner gets a chance at redemption here. Sharp definitely the favorite here. sOrry, he played well in that TvZ, just wasn't able to close it out. Let's see what kind of condition he is. I can't talk kurtosis. My mouth is getting tired, and I am jet lagged from coming back from BlizzCon.
We did just get back a couple days ago.
We're ready. Let's go. Okay, both players spawning at the bottom. It's Sharp on the left side and sOrry on the right.
Excellent. Even spawns, obviously. Yeah, I'm excited to see what openers they want to go for. This is a big map. It's a map where you're going to see forward 11 racks quite a bit to try to punish quick command centers, whether that be the command center first or you know, a gasless expand. We'll see if that's what we end up going for here.
Now, with these two players here, again, Sharp is a player who likes to get engages. He likes to pick fights. He tends to, even though he has good strategies, he tends not to win off the strategy so much, as he's just kind of a good, skilled player.
Yeah, and he does win off strategy sometimes, but he's a tactical player is the way I like to think about him.
I agree.
Where he's like, he gets into these situations which are never really the same, and then he just does kind of the right thing right there. And like, he's a dropship guy. And dropship guys have to be that for TvT, for instance.
Right.
Like the dropship is actually very expensive. You have to get a starport, and it's 100 minerals and 100 gas. And generally, it's like a siege tank and 2 Goliaths or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Or what? Obviously, there's the forward 11 racks, by the way.
I think we're going to have both of them do that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, hold on. Is Sharp going to go for just quick command center? I think he is. Nope, never mind.
Ah. All right. Well, that's a floating location that he built in. Either way.
Now, he can run up here and actually catch this SCV, right? I mean, that's really...
That's really annoying when that happens. And this is unlucky for sOrry, unfortunately. He'll have to send up at least one more SCV. Yeah, really.
Actually, two, yeah.
Because you have to chase it away, and oh my god. Excuse me.
Wow, okay,
Chase away and build it, but yeah.
Now, I can imagine Sharp's going to be very vigorously microing this SCV because if you could just delay this barracks even further, it's such a headache. And, you know, that's 2 SCVs less that's mining right now.
Yeah.
Which actually adds up to quite a bit of minerals.
A huge amount of minerals.
It's insane.
Truly. It's the difference with SCVs mining and not mining. You'll see things like either, like maybe we'll see sOrry cut an SCV, maybe not. See the timing of this. Like, for instance, okay, look at this. The factory, 241. You can get the factory at 234 if you nail it.
Yeah.
7 seconds. That's a big difference already.
So, if you guys have not seen many TvTs, let's point out how this matchup operates. So, the Siege Tank is the most influential unit in this matchup. It has incredible range. In a lot of ways, the Siege Tank is one of the most influential units in the game. But in this matchup, first of all, the range is crazy. You can shoot farther than it can see. And when you get a Siege Tank up in Siege mode, you're able to control such an amount of territory. Now, if you put turrets around it, if you can cover it with Vultures, if you can get a few Goliaths there, suddenly this is a position you can't attack into. And so, since both players have Siege Tanks, they have a hard time pushing into each other. But that doesn't mean you don't want to try to play that type of game, right? Because if you don't, they'll just push into you with your Siege Tanks. So a lot of times you see them push at each other. And usually when they get their Siege Tank set up in Siege mode, you're probably not going to break it unless you have a really clean attack. And so, which by the way is very hard to pull off. So what happens is they tend to, almost like a game of Go, or as Koreans would call it, paduk, they try to surround each other. It's two sides trying to wrap themselves around each other and contain each other. And since this is a game of economics and not just positioning, you're trying to get more bases. If you can get a wraparound where you end up being given more bases, usually you can come out with a win. But dropships can be used to circumvent that surrounding.
Yes.
And so you can get dropships out here and unload them in different parts of the map and hit different areas, and it's hard to deal with.
Yeah. You know, map control, just positional control, is as valuable as income in many situations, as valuable as supply in many situations, just having good positioning and whatnot. And we'll see that at play. Like, there are definitely positions occasionally in TvTs, and if this goes to 5 games, I guarantee you will come up on one where it looks like one player's winning, and I'll tell you the other one is. Yeah. Because they'll just have this position where it's like, yeah, the other guy does have a better economy and more units right now, but this positioning's too strong. So it's a very, very complicated matchup in a lot of ways. Now, Sharp is actually going Vultures. That's kind of good to see here, I would say. It looks like it's a Vulture war. Now, unfortunately for him, sOrry's getting his 3rd factory up more quickly. Now, if your opponent is doing something like going tanks or something, you actually want to go like, let's say if you're going Vultures, you want, mines. Like I was, right? So if, I'm having a hard time because I'm so excited to share this with people. But anyways, there's a rock, paper, scissors involved with Vulture wars if you both go factory expand, right? So Sharp has gone mines. If sOrry had gone siege tanks, this is a great counter to it, and you're at an advantage. Instead, sOrry, I guarantee you he went speed, and he went 3 factories more quickly. So he has more Vultures, and speed Vultures beat slow Vultures, just like speedlings beat slowlings.
Well said.
So now map control goes completely to sOrry.
Can sOrry actually flood this position?
Probably not.
Okay, because this happens sometimes with Vultures. If you get enough of them, you just bury them.
Notice the depot there. Between the depot and a spread of Vultures, it doesn't make sense for him to attack it right now.
The depot actually operates a lot like pylons do in PvP, where you'll see one put out kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Where they want to attack in, because that ends up drawing some fire, and just 1 or 2 shots being drawn in a PvP, or in this case, maybe 4 or 5 shots from the shots of the Vulture being drawn to the depot, allows the defender to win the fight.
Yeah. Now, Sharp did jump up into 4 factories, so in a few rounds, he'll actually have more Vultures.
Now, in case you guys are wondering, where the hell are the tanks we were talking about? They've forced themselves into a Vulture arms race, because if one player went for the tank, the other one would dominate. But here we are, they're both stuck making Vultures right now.
Yeah, and a lot of times a situation like this, like for Sharp, when he gets his second gas, he can go into 3 factory siege tank for a bit. sOrry will go into 2 or 3 factory siege tank. Oh, he's already got his second gas, so definitely we're going to want to see the switch up pretty soon, because I think both of them have played this well enough that you can't really damage each other with Vultures if you both sit kind of defensively. If you sit on the high ground, the other Vultures can't really attack you very well. But Sharp's making so many Vultures, we might see him come in from a funny angle. Because you don't want to go straight up a ramp against your opponent's Vultures, but if you have more Vultures and you can start the firing on equal ground instead of low versus high, you can wipe them out and then suddenly have a nice advantage.
Yeah, and he's going to come in here, I think, from behind now.
Yeah, he's looking for that funny angle. But
Oh
look
my
at this.
God.
sOrry's so on top of it.
Yeah.
Sharp has to turn around. This is crazy.
Okay,
This is
well,
crazy talk.
Sharp is going for it, and he's actually got a really nice arc over here. Now, don't forget, there's going to be Vultures coming here from behind as well. But the positioning here with sOrry on the high ground is so much better.
Yeah. Well, I did mention at the beginning that Sharp never wins Vulture Wars. Wow,
well, this is such a big loss here. And now he's
do
even
that.
hemorrhaging these 2 Vultures. He had all those factories rallied out there. I think he can actually come in here and bury Sharp.
Yes. I think you're right. I think the game ends here.
Yep.
Well, the thing
this
is
is
TvT,
our...
so it might not end, but
This is a TvT cosplaying as a ZBZ here.
yeah.
GG.
Yeah.
And that's why you had to get those mutas out in time.
Yeah.
Or the lings with speed just kill him. Am I right or am I right? All right, thank you very much,
No,
ladies and
totally.
gentlemen. Be sure to tip your waitresses.
Yeah. It's like, I don't think that Sharp has a great feel for Vulture Wars, which is why, again, I mentioned that he normally gives up map control. Because he normally doesn't even go for them. And you can maybe see partially why there. He had a slight lead on Vultures, and he correctly judged that, but like I was saying, he'll probably come from a funny angle to try to avoid low versus high ground.
Yeah.
As soon as it's low versus high ground, you literally can't win. You're
You
like
know-
2 Vultures up, you have 50% missed chance. Like, it will never occur.
It's funny. I was on the same page as you, Artosis, but I'm so used to casting Sharp make such good engagements with his army. I was almost in disbelief, thinking maybe he would actually win this fight. Maybe he knew something we just didn't. But yeah, of course, it's so straightforward. It's high ground versus low ground with the same units.
Yeah, and even if you run up past the Vultures, so you're all high ground, and he did that with half of them, you've already taken an extra volley.
Right.
So once it's like 6, 7 Vultures plus, that's like, okay, one of your Vultures' hit points are already gone. So, like, now you're, I don't know. Let's just go. Next man.
All right, we're on cross spots this time around. Sharp here in the top right, and sOrry here in the bottom left.
Okay. You know, the cross spawns generally forces his position if they do both go factory expand into Vulture again. It's hard to do any sort of tank openings because it's just too far away.
Yeah.
But we'll see what openings they do. Circuit Breakers in general is a pretty popular map to do some fast command centers on, but it's got a proximal center. So you have to take that into consideration because 8 racks and double 8 racks, obviously both can be extremely strong counters.
And so maybe this time around we'll actually have the tank play that we were talking about, go into a more textbook TvT here.
Now, I would like that. Circuit breakers can give us very big games as well, but the center is so wide open.
Also, most of the center is unbuildable. You can't fill it up with turrets and
only
other
the
stuff.
very center is buildable.
Which doesn't really mean anything in this case.
Yeah, it's occasionally I'll make a turret there, but then I'm like, I don't know if that's really doing anything.
Yeah, I don't know if this really helps that much.
Yeah. After the proxy stage, it's kind of like just pretend it's all in
and that's a big deal, guys. It's what we call hard contain versus soft contain.
Yeah. Whereas you have a turret line with your tanks on fighting spirit.
Right.
It's just like, yeah, you aren't breaking in there, sorry.
Yeah. If you have a hard contain, you've got turrets, you've got, such a strong position here, and you really have to put a lot of effort in to break it. Soft contain, there is no turrets, maybe Goliaths covering siege tanks, Vultures below them. And that's a contain that oftentimes has to rely on mobility and repositioning in order to eke out the benefits in the long run. Short term, they have the same effect, though.
Yeah. I want to mention that another way to think about the way that these two play, sOrry is more modern than Sharp in a lot of ways. Sharp kind of plays by the beat of his own drum. Like if you showed me game one in this game, you said one of these guys is a non-Korean player, I'd tell you it's Sharp.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, for instance, sOrry's 4-11 racks, like I mentioned, that's very popular in Eddie. It's kind of popular in general because people do fast expansions. It has some downside, but it has a lot of upside as well. And like sOrry keeps doing that. We saw him go 3 factory Vulture with speed on Eddie, which is a really good build. That's a very modern type build where you have to have perfect mechanics or the build is terrible. If you miss one depot, the game ends basically because you have to nail it. Whereas Sharp is like, again, he does these builds where they aren't builds that will just get him ahead. Like, he's trying to actually play the game with his opponent rather than mechanically win. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. There's some builds you can do where you're just completely like racing against the clock almost and trying to power up.
It's like you're a speedrunner playing StarCraft.
This build avoids all the other timing attacks. And, I mean, Flash has a lot of builds like this where he's very much detached from the opposing player and, trying to as quickly as possible get to maybe a certain upgrade or attack at a certain moment before a hatchery can finish. Where Sharp is much more interested in doing a dance, so to speak.
Yes. He wants to play with his opponent, not just know all the timings and hit them. So I that's probably a big part of why I would mention that if there was a non-Korean here, it would be Sharp, because that's generally how non-Koreans will play as well. But I mean, he's a great player in this regard. It's just that's why I always feel like his TvT is a little bit suspect, because there are a lot of situations like factory expand versus factory expand here. If they both go Vulture, the guy with the better mechanics and build order has map control, and that's almost never Sharp.
Yeah, I think you had a very good explanation for that. Now, last game was kind of weird, right? I mean, sOrry, he started a Vulture arms race, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually a really good way to play. Sharp had a tactical response to it, but if sOrry is in a good position, that won't work. And for some reason, Sharp, I mean, I don't blame him for trying to come in at that angle, but the moment he saw it, he should have turned around. He could have actually taken losses, turned around, and made more Vultures, and the game would have continued. But instead, it's almost like he had never had an engagement like that before, and he watched all his Vultures die.
Yeah, I think he judged that he had more Vultures and wanted to take it. The thing is, if you start to run, they do chase you and get a couple extra, but then you can take high ground and do somewhat even trade.
There's also this weird thing that happens where now that we can zoom out in StarCraft 1, I think this is so much more pronounced, but this moment where we see the engagement happen, and you have to remember that, there's only so many units that fit on a screen. So we had a good zoom out of that fight that happened back there.
Yeah.
And maybe Sharp, where his screen was, he didn't fully realize how outnumbered, how outgunned he was.
Yeah. So this game, they're both going into 3 factory Vulture really, really quickly. And Sharp went for speed this time, so he's kind of learning from that mistake in the first game and figuring out sOrry's style perhaps a little bit during this. That was an amazing move. This is actually one of the very important things you have to do. Because if the barracks gets free reign, you get to count the Vultures. Yeah. Because if anyone makes a Goliath, you're ahead in Vultures. And then you have map control. So it's this funny thing where if you can kill your opponent's Marine, 100% worth it. Even giving up a Vulture, it's worth it, I would say.
Yeah.
Because eventually that will push the barracks out. But yeah, so what we see here, look at Sharp, 52-52. Look at sOrry, 53-60. Okay? Sharp got supply blocked. Again. God, Tasus, I just really know these TvT players. The better mechanical player here. Look at Sharp again, 60-60. He's not macroing it correctly. And to be fair, 3 Factory Vulture is unbelievably hard to macro.
Yeah, the Vultures come out so fast.
Yeah, and it's an alternating depot thing where, like, every third round you need an additional depot. So to nail it perfectly is actually one of the mechanically most demanding things as far as supply to production ratio goes. It's ridiculous how complicated it is. Anyways, sOrry is going into a starport right now, which could catch Sharp off guard.
So funny he lands the barracks there, by the way. Just trying to draw some fire away.
Yeah, totally.
So where do you want to go from here if it's Vulture v Vulture?
Well, you do want map control. There's all sorts of little tactical tricks as well. Sometimes you'll sneak 3 Vultures out on a side.
Hey! Whoa,
Look at that. Yeah, so that right there is because that's going to one-shot an SCV. So as soon as his barracks sees Sharp's Vultures leave, you run in with those 3, and you only target SCVs.
Wow.
And you'll actually kill so many, because Vultures don't kill Vultures fast. Ready? See? Here we go.
Oh, get wrecked.
Good catch. Good catch by Sharp.
Yeah, that was really awesome. And so he gets the kill there. He should have had 3 more hidden somewhere else, Artosis.
That's the new meta right there.
That's the new meta.
Yeah. Now, by the way, the reason why Sharp was moving out is because a siege tank popped out. So like I said, as soon as you see a non-Vulture unit, you know that you're ahead in Vultures, so Sharp started to move. That's why sOrry started to move out.
So I think there's a dropship being made here as well.
Yep. Vulture drops are a very common follow-up here because your Vulture's value over time is not all that great, and if your opponent's out on the map, you can get a lot of SCVs. So this is beautiful for Sharp right now, I would say. We'll see what these Vultures do. Yeah, brings out another 2. Perfect, perfect. But he might fly over some mines and stuff because Sharp has such map control. Map control, again, it's like everything. I'm sure he just saw that.
Oh, he has to have. And so this drop shouldn't do really anything here.
Look at the mines. Just look at the minimap. Look at all the red dots everywhere. This is what happens when you get Vulture control. And this is why Vulture openers in TvT have a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors element. It's like, did Sharp vastly outplay sOrry? No, sOrry made a siege tank, so Sharp moved out and he stopped the 3 Vultures that did the counter, which would have made it worthwhile to lose map control.
Okay, so there's going to be a small drop over here. No? No, there will not be. No, there's not.
Perfect. Perfect counter by Sharp. Nice.
So he's going to get this chased out now. We have Wraiths coming here as well.
Now, just the fact that Sharp knows there's no mines on his side of the map, he needs to block the drop, which is trying to keep his units back so that sOrry can actually move out. And like Sharp, basically, you don't want to get contained over your bridges. If you get contained over your bridges, you're probably going to lose on certain breakers.
It's a very easy way to lose the game.
Ooh, the Wraith. Good play. Oh, get it on there. All right, so Sharp has put out a beautiful game other than the supply blocks early on.
And so Sharp is still in control of his side of the map. I don't think we're going to have a push just yet here from sOrry, though.
Yeah, sOrry just wants to get in front of his bridges. He's clearing some mines. I mean, you'll siege up somewhere in the center when you think your opponent's pretty close. He's finally starting to lay some of his own mines. Sharp wants to get up into a position where he can take this as his 3rd base. It is a gas expansion, so that's kind of what he's interested in. sOrry is roaming with a lot of units here, though. A lot of Vultures. Oh, my God. Okay, Sharp finally comes out with the rest of his.
Okay.
Oh, back up, back up.
Tank sieging up.
Okay. We are at a very even position right now. God,
so,
StarCraft's beautiful.
Artosis is so happy, guys. He gets his TvT.
I'm so happy.
He's shaking his head right now, but one of those like, man, this is so good.
Oh.
Not like shaking my head like everybody else's because it's a TvT, but like
my life for Core Hall, friend. My life for Core Hall. Oh. Anyways, this is kind of a funny situation where you're looking for edges, moving your units around. You're trying to expand without opening yourself up. And you've got a giant army where if your opponent gets out of position at all, like if someone doesn't have their Vultures there, you can run in with your Vultures and tank and kill your opponent's tanks. So you got to be careful with that. Okay, so right now, a ridiculous amount of units from Sharp. Oh my God, he's moving like so much of his army that
He actually
Dude,
slipped
this is
through there
crazy.
so quickly. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Okay, he's actually moving back now. Because that was like, I don't know if I liked that move. That was like too much of his army.
Okay, he's coming forward now.
Yeah, that's an interesting position for Sharp.
Well, this seems a little bit too ambitious here from Sharp. I mean, this is a very straightforward counter push here by sOrry. Why is sOrry just killing it here, man? He's so good.
He's really focusing on his siege tank production.
Yeah. I
Does
actually
he have
think
3 add-ons? I didn't
I
actually
think he
look.
must, right?
He
I
might.
think it's 2 for Sharp, but the number of siege tanks for sOrry, just looking at what we have so
Oh
far,
god,
is so
he's
much
not
higher.
sieged. He's not sieged.
Oh no, that's unforgivable.
Where's his vultures? You have to have all your units up here. Oh my god. Okay, Sharp won't die here, but this was a great move from sOrry.
Yeah, but he's already pushing him back. We're getting closer to those bridges. The third expansion. I almost said the first third base. The third base here for Sharp is in this open area in the center right. Now, I love how Sharp's doing these drops over here. This is going to force some of the army back. By the way, this Vulture play over here is great. He can lay mines here. It's going to be much harder to come in. He can get all these SCV kills as well.
Yeah, that was a really nice move from Sharp, no question. I still like the position for sOrry, even though Sharp now has more SCVs. Just because sOrry maintains more map control. Like you said, he's pretty close to the bridges right now.
Yeah.
And if he can actually get into there, if he can cover up that area and stop the rotation of units, he will easily kill 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Look at that siege line. That is scary stuff.
Yeah, and even having just this much of an edge, being in the middle with Sharp having to make circles around this is hard. It's very, very hard for Sharp to recover.
Well, the thing is, Sharp fans, don't be too scared. sOrry is ahead of Sharp right now, I would say, and his position looks superior. But this is the type of spot that Sharp gets himself into, like every TvT, where you look at it and you're like, oh, it doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
But Sharp is very good tactically. He'll probably try to get some dropships in. The problem with that is, if they get caught, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And obviously, we see 1 Port Cloak Wraith coming up here for sOrry.
So, the game plan right now is for sOrry to try to get as many more bases on the map as possible. But, you know, Sharp's doing a good job with these Vultures. He's continuing to roam the map and get some really good denials over here. And if Sharp can keep executing and taking down these additional bases, sOrry's not going to be able to get the advantage that he needs based off the position that he actually rightfully earned.
Yeah. It's well said.
Ah!
Yeah, some Sharp just kind of extending his siege line. He is trying to take the bottom right. But I think sOrry took those bridges a little bit. Look at this, some good Vulture play again.
If he keeps killing SCVs like this, one thing about Vultures when they get into any worker line, they will, if it's saturated with workers, they will kill so many workers you cannot simply make out of 3 different command centers just SCVs and suddenly be back to normal. It's a devastating amount of damage.
Yeah, he's dealing a lot of damage to the economy. Now, this second Vulture run-in, my gosh. And you can kind of see, this is how Sharp wins his TvTs. He's kind of in a bad position, but he's running around, outplaying his opponent in some other ways. Because he's taking these bases at the bottom right. I want to see just the left there. I think those are sOrry siege tanks. And if he holds that position and kills bottom right, Sharp is still in a little bit of a rough spot.
Okay, I think sOrry is going to have to back up. I can't imagine he wants to push forward. And I think this is a good move. He had that position. He wasn't able to get any advantages from it. And this is a game that really highlights why Sharp is such a good player overall. Yeah. And as Artos has said before, Sharp tends to get ahead and then...
Well, get behind and then...
I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Get behind and then actually come out ahead.
Yeah. Look at that, he's building something in the center. An eBay.
Of all things, he probably wanted to make a turret and said, oh, I don't have an eBay, and then made the eBay there.
Yeah, he's actually SCV bombing tanks while he moves in with the rest of his army. Very cool moves here from Sharp, and now he's busting the center.
And keep in mind, even though Sharp did not have center control, he actually got more bases up here. At least for a little bit.
Well,
and he's also killed off more SCVs.
Yeah.
So Sharp can actually come out here and start really pounding.
He hasn't taken any economic damage, so his production has been really nice. He's produced quite a few siege tanks here, broken through that center. Look at this, now he's got the bridges. What's up? Sharp's gonna take this one.
Damn. Okay,
Yeah.
Sharp can actually push this here. And by the way, there's so many more SCVs that will not be able to get out. And this is probably the most significant engagement we've had here.
Yeah.
It's saturated with SCVs.
It's got so many SCVs there.
He can send some vultures like these ones here and just murder this spot.
Yeah. sOrry's trying to do some sort of counter here.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be intercepted over here as well. Already,
Yeah,
Sharp's so good.
That's it. sOrry's dead.
Yeah, I don't think sOrry
Yeah.
can recover from this.
No, I
This
think
has
he'll
just been
GG.
such a good play here. Damn, Sharp is so good. GG.
Wow, these
Talk
are some
about
great games that we're
Yeah,
seeing.
talk about a game that really shows why Sharp is such a good Terran player.
Yeah. The difference between sOrry and, let's say, Last or Flash would have been seen with possibly blocking some of his Vulture harassment that Sharp did there.
Right.
Right? Sharp lost some positions. Yeah, maybe he had a few more harassment units, but he got pushed back into a scary spot where if he misplays from there, he can lose his third base.
Yeah.
But he kept strong. He was running around. He was looking for places to deal damage, and he found them repeatedly.
And I think that was a cold reminder to sOrry about where he is as a TvT player. sOrry got ahead in that Vulture race. That's cool. That's one win. You only need 2 more, but now we get into what a TvT really looks like, the position game. Anyways, guys, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, game number 3 with Sharp versus sOrry. Aw, they're friends. Okay, first of all, I'm so annoyed seeing that PVZ in that trailer
Yeah,
that
if
we
you
saw.
guys saw the clip of Mini versus Modesty.
Disgusted. My Lings, my Zealots and my Probes never do that and kill the Zerg.
This is the age of professional Protoss. Mini is so strong in PvZ, it's ridiculous.
Anyways, TvT, Overwatch. What?
Yeah. So Overwatch TvT. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute. I'm not getting caught again.
Okay, it's Sharp in the upper left and sOrry in the bottom right.
Cool. So, Overwatch. Proxy 8 racks is definitely a thing here. I don't know that we're going to see it. I don't think either of these players will do it. Aside from that, this map is so much about moving your units around. It is, if you get a contain up, if you take one good fight and like get ahead on units, oh my god, because the contains on this map are brutal.
Yeah. Small bridge, it's funny how impactful that small bridge is.
Yeah.
In a lot of the matchups, but especially in TvT.
And of course, if you can contain the small bridge and the giant bridge that's over the third base, it's lights out for your opponent. It becomes like impossible because you have high ground there and you have the small bridge that they can't go over. Now, obviously, it takes a while to get enough units to be able to control both those locations. So,
Now, Artosis, you're the guy that actually likes this matchup. So you tell me, we're not going to have mass vultures, right?
you can have
You can?
the
You can go
Vulture
for it
Wars.
still?
So the thing about mass Vulture, it's not as mass because it's like generally it's not as mass. Here's the problem, Tasteless. If you have one more Vulture than your opponent, you're ahead.
Right.
Okay. So if you both go Vultures at all, you need to go Vultures all the way, or not at all, right? Like stop at if you're like make 1 or 2 in the early, like right off the bat, and then go into something else, that's fine. But if you both are actually committing to Vultures before any tanks, you just need to go Vultures because
It's funny
whoever
how that
gets
works.
more has map control, lays mines everywhere, and has a ridiculous advantage. Because again, map control is like more important than bases and units.
Right. And this is the only matchup that really operates in that way.
Yes.
It's actually more about just having more space on the map. more control, more options, more fluid movement of your army moving in between those spaces that you have.
Like you said, the siege tank is so powerful in this matchup. Siege tank in siege mode is so cost efficient, especially against Terran. The defender's advantage is so massive in TvT. So what you want to do is defend as close to them as you possibly can. Right?
Yeah.
That's what you got to think of it as. It's like just like they won't try to break your base. Well, you can just make your base kind of up there by sieging your tanks. So if you have the mines out, it gives you more time to get into position and get cost efficient. So yeah, it's. I mean, they're both going factory expand, so we'll probably have Vulture openings. But you can't go tank Vulture. You can go tank Vulture. It's possible, especially with that small bridge.
Yeah, I guess once you get control over that.
Yeah, like if you go insta tank, like add-on tank. Immediately, no Vulture first, you can play a little tank Vulture game instead of Vulture versus Vulture. We'll see.
So, if you guys are just now joining us, we saw sOrry win game 1 in almost a game where I guess it's like Sharp shot himself in the foot. He had this idea, this tactic to flank his opponent's Vultures. He did the flank, but the position was set up so that sOrry just won, and Sharp didn't pull out. It's like he just watched his army die, almost. And then sOrry wins with a counterattack. So among the most, at least the pro level, rudimentary ways to win a game that you can have, and especially in a TvT.
Yeah.
But in game 2, we saw a much more high caliber TvT on both sides, where sOrry actually got the edge, and then Sharp just outplayed him. And so I'm really seeing Sharp probably taking the series.
Well, this is actually a very tricky build from sOrry. Let's see if Sharp adds his second factory. I think he will. This is actually kind of a new build, what sOrry is doing. So again, kind of playing towards what I was mentioning before, where sOrry is like hyper modern in this matchup. He plays like all the newest builds and hangs out with all the coolest Terrans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all the
whatever
hottest
that meme
dudes.
is. Yeah. He has all the hottest builds.
He drives the fastest cars and hangs out with the hottest pros.
Yeah. So when you both go factory expand, generally what it turns into is either Vultures versus Vultures or tank Vulture versus tank Vulture.
Yeah.
Or, some combination of those. Normally you're going to delay your armory slightly, which means, oh my God, Sharp. Can't believe you're in here with a Vulture right now. Like, somehow this got past all the other Vultures and all the floating barracks. And anyways, he'll end up losing it. But
So 2 SCV kills.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, 3. Good. He had to click down the HP on each of those to figure out which one was the injured one.
Really well done. But yeah, the proxy, basically what's happening here is the Wraith can do a lot of damage. Because you won't start your armory a lot of times until you see it. Oh my God, he's already going to have an armory.
Wow, Sharp's just on top.
Yeah, he is. And he had started that before the Vulture going on, so it wasn't even, it's not like he scouted something made him think to do this. And this is very normal. You go after that Marine right away, because you may as well. He's going to right-click the Marine on the Wraith no matter what to buy time for SCVs. Then he sees, oh, there's already an armory. You're hoping that they don't have one and they've committed more heavily to their prime units.
Even though the Wraith doesn't get kills very quickly, it's still a headache. But yeah, the fact that that's already done means because once the Goliath, can't talk. I'm sorry, my mouth is getting tired here. I've been casting for so long. Once the Goliath is out, there's no way for the Wraith to directly confront it. Basically the same way that if there's anything that can hit air besides one Marine, the Wraith can't deal with it.
Yeah. And, there's also hidden benefits to forcing Goliaths. The Goliath is not a bad unit, especially in the early game. It can actually fight reasonably well, but it's not what you want to make. It doesn't give you any sort of map control. It's not fast. It doesn't have sick range. It can fight. If you actually just have a straight-up fight, it actually does really well against Vultures, for instance.
Yeah, I would almost say it's like exactly a 5 out of 10 on the ground.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but it's not really good. But because it eliminates the option for your opponent to get air, in a lot of ways it zones them out of certain techs that otherwise would be too strong.
Just forcing your opponent into the Goliath, it's like, okay, that costs gas, and he's making Goliaths, so that means he's not making something, whether that's Vulture or Siege Tank.
Yeah.
And don't forget, right, not only do you have to have a Goliath with your army, you need one at home to stop the Wraiths. And then also, because they have a starport out, you know that it's only a matter of time before a Vulture drop comes.
Right.
So then you have to have extra units at home for that as well. So there's a lot of hidden benefits to getting a starport relatively early on.
Okay, so the Wraiths come up now into the main here. And just going to come through there, do a little bit of scouting, see exactly where this game is at. Again, it's neither player is out trying to dominate the center of the map for the reasons that Artos has said. You know, the threat of the drops are too big. But we need to watch for when that third base is going to be taken and where. And also who's going to control the bridges, or will neither player get that, and this becomes a game where the map is cut diagonally in half.
Yeah, it's very hard to cut this map perfectly diagonally.
Yeah.
It almost plays like a 3-player map in this matchup because a lot of the, like, for instance, all the bases with gas are high ground after your natural, right? So
Right.
then suddenly, like, you can have an outpost base, like, almost in your opponent's territory.
Sure.
That's very cost efficient for you and very cost inefficient for them to break. So, yeah, the general split map doesn't happen quite as often here.
So since nobody, I spoke too soon. I was going to say, since nobody can try to dominate any area, it's just going to be Vultures coming out. But as I said that, we see Sharp actually with a small squad moving out here. And I think he's going to try to seal up this bridge that's just about 2 screenshots south of where that position that we had it over Sharp's army was.
By the way, notice those 4 Vultures. There's a reason he's out there with 4 Vultures, laying their mines and whatnot, but there's that dropship we were talking about before. This is always going to follow up the Wraiths at some point. And of course, we see that Sharp has already left units at home.
Yep.
Setting up here on the bridge, so yeah, sorry, can't even come close to that.
See how he has that set up so far away? Once you get to the other side of the bridge, you start to get hammered. So there's no way, unless, you know...
No, you go single file over the bridge.
You'd have to have a maxed out army to get
That would
through
kill a
there.
maxed out army.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You need a real lot of supply.
Yeah, and so Sharp immediately shuts the drop down before it even starts. Very on top of his game. It doesn't appear that sOrry is able to react as quickly, and Sharp may be able to stop this push from coming out over here as well.
Yes.
Even chasing the dropship now.
Yeah, still flying that dropship around, looking for some damage. And look at that. I mean, this is pretty reasonable, right? Slow down that command center. Nicely done.
Yeah.
In the meantime, sOrry moving around this side of the map. Of course, Sharp started to contain the right side. Like we were talking about before, there's a lot of roaming on this map. You don't have enough units this early on. I mean, look at our supplies. We're only hitting 100 now. You don't have enough to contain everything. So when your opponent contains an area, you've got to move out the other area and find some sort of damage or a different area that you can control that can threaten your opponent. And eventually someone's going to miss position and be in trouble. Ooh. That was a nice
drop.
flyback in.
But I'll tell you what, man, Sharp's already ready. He shuts this down. It does get, what, 3 SCVs?
I'll take it. Slows the depots.
The third base is being taken now, and Sharp already actually shutting out this push, but sOrry's starting to make a little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
Slowly pushing in. He's getting close to the small bridge here that is controlled by Sharp on his side of the map.
Look at that. Clears those tanks. Can he get up to that small bridge? Then they'll both control their opponent's small bridge.
Yeah, they'll both be locking each other out of any more map movement here.
Yeah, this is like the tango. You're trying to put your tanks on the small of their bridge.
This is the tank go. But again, we don't have a third base yet for sOrry. Oh, wow, I love the Wraith play here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
That's a huge move. Those tanks have to run.
It's so funny when the Goliaths, they scan, and then you get the spinny missile thing going on where it loops around them a couple times.
Yeah, if it's right on top. Look at that, though. The value of those Wraiths is gigantic at the moment. And now sOrry clearing out these Vultures that were harassing his third, forcing these tanks to get out of here. I mean, he can easily kill 1 or 2 more as well if he micros heavily.
I love to see that sOrry is holding his own here against Sharp. In fact, I should probably say he's close to really crushing here.
Yeah,
he's got superior supply. He's got all
ahead.
these Wraiths out. Is there any Goliaths in that army up there? Yeah, he's just going to lose a bunch of tanks.
Oh, I know. This is...
Oh, my God. That's not enough Wraiths, though, right? If he keeps reinforcing, he could take that out as well. I think sOrry, if he can play this nicely, in the next couple minutes, he might be able to take out that third base at 12 o'clock.
He might be able to. Look at this. He's trying to run around some Vultures. But don't forget, this is how Sharp plays this game. Like in TvT, he gets behind a lot. And then he figures out a way to kind of fight back tactically.
It's so funny how that works.
Yeah, no, it's like every TvT he plays. He's never ahead in the beginning. He never has the best build order. Like, here we are, right? He's down over 20 supply.
It really was remarkable to see. You're totally right that he consistently gets into a bad spot and then manages to turn it around.
Yeah. Well,
in this match,
it's a tricky thing because he's setting himself up in certain ways, but no matter, it's like, the thing is you have to know the player and what they're likely to do to truly gauge these positions. Because I would say right now, let's call this close to even though all the stats kind of favor sOrry a little bit. But Sharp has set himself up in some certain ways, right? He's got a slightly higher Goliath count. He's got a lot of siege tanks. He's starting to take some strong spots. His third base was mining slightly quicker than sOrry here. And that's like where he gets more comfortable. He's a player where if you don't get way ahead of him early, he's going to be scary.
Yeah, he knows how to bounce back.
Whereas, yeah, there's a lot of mechanics players that are like, they have the build order, right? And they have the mechanics and they're nailing it and they get a lot of units and stuff, but they'll, in weird situations, they won't fare as well.
Okay, so the tank's taking a lot of damage here. This is kind of an overextension here from Sharp, man. It's funny because Sharp has less, but keeps taking more on the map. He's now taking the upper right here, even though he's losing this push. I don't know how this works.
Yeah, down 25 supply.
Yeah.
Trying to take this area, but the thing is he's being pretty cost efficient with all this stuff too, and he has the top right now, so good on him.
One thing I've always found fascinating about TvT is, as a player, just trying to know where you're at after all these exchanges, there's so much loss on both sides, you know?
Yeah.
To get a read on exactly where you are, and sometimes you almost have to just power through it even if you're behind.
Yeah.
One thing again, guys, tanks shoot further than they can see.
Yeah,
so
that's very important.
If you can siege up out of the range of their siege tanks and then scan, your tanks fire first. Now, when you get +2 attack, you 2-shot tanks instead of 3-shotting them. So if you get a siege tank line just outside of where they are and you can scan fast enough, you are destroying their tanks before they can fire back, which is huge. Instant kills.
Yeah. There's so much play with that as well. Wraith users can kind of gain a little bit of extra vision. Sometimes you're flying buildings over to spot a little bit. You can see that's what these two buildings are both doing. Sharp, though, using the science facility. I got to be a bit critical on that. Hopefully he already started, I'm sure he already started his +2, so not the end of the world.
Still, though, I mean, it's a little bit worrisome to see that out there.
Yeah, you'd rather use a barracks or an eBay. Okay, so sOrry looks like he wants to set up a base here, throw up some turrets, throw up the command.
Now, the way the map is set up, the one spot that Sharp would want to, at least to make this even, have, if he could have control of it, it would be the center left. But, of course, sOrry controls the bridge that gives you access to that. So there's a drop coming in here, as Sharp knows he desperately has to reclaim this position if he's going to have any presence in this game. And here we see sOrry shutting this down very handedly.
Yeah, this is where Sharp can run into some trouble with his dropship play. If someone's out macroing him and goes Wraiths, then you can catch some of these dropships. Suddenly, Sharp sitting here on one starport, he lost both of his dropships. It's going to be a long time till he can do another strong drop, which means he can only headbutt areas.
That being said, though, he can actually break this position. There are enough Goliaths that the Wraiths are no longer these tactical units that can come in here and just win a fight by air. I mean, if there's a scan, all the Goliaths will kill all the Wraiths.
It's very, very true.
And so it looks like Sharp will be able to claim the center left spot, at least making as far as who controls what on the map. Positionally, it's fairly even.
Yeah, but that, of course, means that Sharp is starting to win. Just because you have to look at, again, what his style and what his strengths are.
Yeah.
He's starting to take the map. He was down 25 supply for a huge chunk of this game. He's losing a bunch of his dropships and stuff, but look at this. He has the top right corner, and is he going to break the bottom left corner? If he does, he's controlling more bases.
Yeah.
And you don't even necessarily have to have taken them, right? If you control the area and you can make it impenetrable, then it's like, okay, there's a clock on your opponent. He must take back one of these bases.
Sharp might be able to just spill down there and take out the bottom left. I'm not sure.
He definitely wants to.
It's so weird watching Sharp play. I don't know how he manages to do this. I mean, we're seeing him just take these fights, but he somehow, you know, it's like the more that the opponent has on the map, somehow the more Sharp is able to exploit that in this positional game here.
Sure. It's, you know, we talk about that sometimes, where that's part of the comeback mechanics of StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
Is that as the game gets bigger, there's more you have to defend and more you have to do. So that's where Sharp sometimes can find some of this additional damage. Now look at this. sOrry, he's trying to stop Sharp from hitting the ramp. He's siege up these extra units. If he can stop him from going up the ramp, maybe he can hold on to this a bit longer.
Okay, he's continuing to hit into this area, and suddenly, guys, remember this game like 5 minutes ago where sOrry had control of everything, and I thought there was no way that Sharp could get out? Here we are. Sharp's gone all the way down to the bottom left. He's smashing this position. All the tanks that are sOrry are desperately trying to deny this from happening, but here we see artillery raining down, causing the CC to slowly burn down if it's not lifted. And I don't know if there's counterplay. I think we're going to get a shot of the top center here in a second. Here we go. Is there enough?
Yeah, sOrry should be able to break this position. And if he can take control of this land, he might be able to break the top right and make this even again.
Well, what is this, SCVs? He does this sometimes where he'll just drop.
Oh, yeah. He loves that.
Or maybe he's going to actually drop Vultures over there at that base in the center right.
Oh, Sharp has no defense up here. He's really been spending his units on his attacks. And look at this. Sharp can have a hard time against this, but of course you can pull your SCVs to tank a lot of hits.
Yeah, not a bad idea. These Vultures could even run up and try to plant some mines in front of these tanks.
Seems like the +2, though, really come into effect.
Wow, great drop over here, though.
God.
How funny.
That's a scrappy drop. That is annoying. And even having the 2 Vultures there with the tank, it's like they're not even strong at fighting, but they will stop the SCVs from clearing it.
Yeah, that +2 can be used against you here with that splash damage on your own tanks. Again, though, sOrry seems to still have a little bit more. Sharp is somehow able to show just how elastic Terran can be, but I don't see Sharp taking the lead just yet. It looks like he's almost done it a couple times, but in the end, sOrry, with the initial lead he already had, especially with supply, is able to eventually punch back.
Uh-oh. sOrry losing that command center when he definitely should not have.
Yeah, and Sharp still has control of the upper right.
Yeah. Can he actually save the base? Yeah, he can. You land your tanks, push the Vultures off, siege up. You gonna come up that ramp against +2 siege tanks?
I don't know. Big drop, though, coming across the map here. I don't know what's there to defend.
Look at this, sOrry. He's made up some dropships during this time. He does have 2 starports, so able to fill that up rather quickly. But Sharp on top of cleaning this, has his SCVs there, and will clear this out.
I know, good save here by Sharp. Really impressive stuff.
TvT is so good. This is so ridiculous. I want to go home and play Brood War right now.
By the way,
so awesome.
sOrry is just on 4 bases, but Sharp has a little bit more of an arc around the map.
They were exactly at 157 each after all that.
So crazy.
It's wild. This is a really great match between these two.
Such impressive stuff here. Now, sOrry's going to try to push out here. I just worry for sOrry, though, because now that Sharp has finally evened this out, I think it's going to be much, much tougher for sOrry to figure out where he needs to go to take this game to a lead on his end.
Yeah, you have to do some very decisive moves from here. I think you have to basically, like this exactly. You have to look at an area and you have to kill something, basically. And he's going to kill this base. He just lost bottom left, so this is going to set it back to more even. But look at Sharp, his own decisive move. He can control this bridge and knock out this base. That is gigantic.
Really big plays coming out here. You know, with siege tanks,
wow.
It's so hard with siege tanks to move them around quickly because they're obviously the most strong when they're in siege mode here. But my God, that mine! Oh! Well, I guess we're not going to see the HP there, but I'm sure all those tanks should be just a few shots from being killed off. Yeah.
That was very close to disaster.
This is a really good TvT.
This is an amazing TvT.
Again, sOrry's almost maxed out, but Sharp still seems to have a little bit more room to try to come in here on this 3rd base.
Look at
4th base, I guess you should say.
Sharp diving in right now. Let's see what he gets done. Can he actually clear this?
Oh my God. He's going for 12 o'clock.
Yeah,
sOrry is crazy.
He definitely loses that base. There's no way to say that. You got to live.
There defending that.
Yeah, he's going to drill his SCVs maybe.
Hold on a second.
Okay, if sOrry can take back 3 o'clock with that move out, then I think he's got it. Let's see if he retakes 3. Yeah, he does. No, I think that this is where sOrry has got far enough ahead with the game in enough shambles that it's... I don't think that Sharp will fight back from here, but he might. He might. We see he has a couple drop ships. We saw a science vessel up there. I'm not sure how many science vessels he has, but Defense Matrix is amazing in this matchup.
This has been such an insane game. Okay, let's do a mineral check here. I mean, Sharp has lost 12 o'clock. The only base that Sharp has that has minerals is actually over at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm not clear at 6 o'clock here for sOrry how much is actually there, but sOrry also has 3.
Should be very low. Very low.
What's insane is that Sharp was at 120 while sOrry was at 170. And for a little bit there, they were almost 10 supply apart now.
Well, I mean, sOrry's only up by 40 supply, so this is anyone's game right now.
Okay. I think Sharp is debating pouncing here.
If anyone throws an army right now, that can be the game-ending type of move. There's a lot of drop ships out on sOrry's side. Sharp only has a couple. So sOrry has the option to do a really big power play like a Doom drop type of scenario. He does have a lot of siege tanks that are somewhat stuck up at 12. So if Sharp can figure a way to clear those, that would be huge because he regains 12 at that point.
Nice drop over here. He's going to take these out. And this was, oh my God.
Yeah, the power +2. Look at that. He's even got 3-2. Doesn't even matter. Siege mode and +2 is all you need.
Is this one going to work here?
Ooh, I can't believe he's doing that. That is...
Wow, there's so many vultures here. If he just gets rid of that last tank, all these SCVs are going to die.
I'm surprised he actually did this move.
You think he should have unloaded somewhere else or just not dropped here at all?
4 tanks in siege mode, and you're close enough to where his units are that between the SCVs and his rallies, he is going to clear it. And there's also 2 turrets there, so you lose most of your drop ships. Didn't like that play from sOrry. I think that he could have found a much better location.
This is such a great TvT. It's still hard to say who's going to win this.
It is,
yeah. But Sharp needs to back off here. No way you want to fight that on the high ground.
I'm starting to feel Sharp a bit here, Tasteless. Yeah, he's only down 12 supply.
So...
Yes, he's starting to get a good contain up, isn't he?
Yeah, sOrry's now reclaiming the bottom left. It's so crazy because sOrry has pretty much had a lead for most of this game, but Sharp is fighting back so hard the game continues to be drawn out. And again, if sOrry makes 1 or 2 more blunders, then maybe Sharp can actually take this. Right when Sharp seems like he's evened it out, sOrry makes a really smart move and then gets back to the position he was in before, basically.
Yeah, this was really smart from sOrry to try to retake down here right now as well. Okay, he's got Defense Matrix, right? He's going to bust that.
A scan here. He wants to make sure if he tries to get too close.
Are there 2 tanks on the high ground there still at the bottom left?
Not sure.
Oh, these 2 drop ships. Oh, yeah. Okay, okay. Sharp is not going to run too quickly here. The 2 drop ships are the saving grace. If you're dropping out like 2-3 tanks here, yeah.
Fortunately, these SCVs are just barely going to not zigzag into range of these tanks. Ow! The splash is real.
Yeah. Got to back that one up. There you go. Perfect location for it.
Yeah.
It's going to add to any fights trying to bust those tanks you have on the high ground right now.
So with all this tension down here at the bottom left, it's worth pointing out that nothing is happening in the upper right.
Yep. I think it should shift there now.
Yeah. Either player could make a CC there.
Yeah.
Put 2 tanks on the high ground.
It's funny, isn't it, right?
Yeah.
He just barely got 2 dropships over there in time. But now you look at that bottom left, and it's like, no, you can't attack in there. It's too cost inefficient. We've lost too much.
Also, this Wraith play that we had early on from sOrry is now shifted into a pretty dramatic mass dropship play, where instead over here for Sharp, he's going for science vessels.
Yeah.
Almost like he's playing against a Zerg or something, but he can get a lot of defense matrices out like that.
Defense matrix is unbelievably good in this matchup. Watch this. Well, I mean, scan then. There you go. But yeah, Defense Matrix is amazing in TvT. You can really bust siege lines so much better.
Really nice stuff. History's got to irradiate his 2 vessels and run them all over the SCV Zartosis. He's doing the eraser.
The eraser in TvT. That'd be amazing. Yeah, Defense Matrix giving him a little bit of a fighting chance going uphill, but I feel like Sharp is getting a bit too aggressive right here. I think what you were saying was a much better idea. Take top right now.
Yeah.
Like, sOrry right now is just ferrying units back and forth and holding 2 very valuable bases.
Oh, how funny.
Whereas Sharp only has 1 very valuable base. He needs that top right.
I'm so surprised that Sharp is expanding to the mineral only.
I think just because it's easy.
There. Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll have to start adding a lot of vultures, which doesn't mesh perfectly with how he's playing right now, but, you know, make what you can. Ooh.
Oh, man.
Look how many dropships that is. Jeez.
It's crazy. Be careful not to lose that, especially with Army in it.
Yeah, this is...
Okay, it's really important if this game's going to go on for longer. Sharp needs to take the upper right here.
Sharp also needs to start building mass missile turrets. He took the mineral base, so he's going to have a lot more minerals. Vultures aren't going to do that much here. They do some. They're good, sure. But what's really scary is the mobility of sOrry due to the 7 dropships. So if he starts building mass turrets in all his locations, the dropships become defensive instead of offensive. And that's, you need to force that right now, because if Sharp loses a position, it's going to be lights out.
Yeah, yeah. I think, oh man, and this is kind of a crazy move. So what he's going to do is oh, I'm sorry, I thought he was going to drop in the main, so did the Observer.
That would have probably been a game.
Yeah, this is actually not even worth it. You don't really need to stop this mineral base. It's kind of funny.
Sharp actually moved his entire army towards his main, realizing that that could be the game ender.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So maybe this was a good meta move.
Everybody thought it except for sOrry.
Yeah,
here.
I guess. Oops. What are we doing?
Yeah, what am I seeing here? I don't think it would kill either of these guys for one of them to start going back into wraiths to shoot down the dropships. You know what I mean? Oh,
yeah.
what a funny little engage here.
Oh my God, that defense matrix is really cool, but Sharp a little bit slow on moving up his back tanks. Oh gosh.
You know what? I think he's going to make it work. I think he can get right underneath this.
Oh
what? There's
my
actually
God.
extra tanks in here? What am I seeing?
Yeah, no, this
What
was
is
a
going
very
on?
weird looking engagement. Sharp did way better there than he had any right to due to the defense matrix.
100 supply to 168 now. sOrry still with so much. All I think really that sOrry needs to do is deny the upper right, and then Sharp will dry up on the map.
But he didn't deny the upper right. So, I mean, if Sharp just starts setting up siege tanks and turrets everywhere?
I think he can still do it though, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, realistically, looking at this game, it feels the entire time like sOrry should be able to win.
Yeah.
Especially now with this many dropships. But Sharp he's got the moves, okay? Can he dance? Yes, he can dance.
Okay, he's broken through the middle here. No longer is there a contain on the small bridge. Now,
okay,
I guess I'm scratching my head here. He needs to push the upper right. For me, it seems obvious.
Well, we're getting into outpost mode here for Sharp.
Yeah.
Like what we saw from sOrry minutes ago, where he was just ferrying siege tanks back and forth, that's actually exactly what Sharp has to do now. He just needs to hold on to his different expansions. The top right and 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And obviously defend against mass drops.
Also, keep in mind, if sOrry's not able to end this game, sOrry will end up spending all of his resources. Nobody's got a lot of money in the bank right now.
Yeah. But sOrry is looking primed to be able to make a move that is too cost efficient. Oh, is he actually? Really? Truly?
Yeah, this is what he needed to do. He needs to unload a little bit more quickly, though.
Well, yeah, I guess he has enough units coming here.
Okay, that, I think, is going to be game.
Sharp is... yeah.
I think that, yeah, that should be it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, because he's going to try to come back over here. I don't think this is going to work. There's just too much of everything here for sOrry. sOrry finally took that advantage that he had and turned it into a win. Sharp punching up this entire game.
That's a good way to put it.
My God.
Yeah.
What a TvT. Almost, well over 30 minutes.
Well, Sharp actually might not leave now. He cleared a lot of units right there. He's still got his science vessels. He's still got 2 dropships.
Well, I don't know how many more minerals are actually at the center left base anymore, man.
Yeah. He's probably going to have to lift the command center from 12, send it down to the mineral base.
Minerals are not going to help you in this matchup right now. Not when sOrry's got this many tanks out.
Yeah,
Can't run around with Vultures that much.
No, not too much. sOrry's just had a strong enough economy long enough. This was a beautiful game, though, as well.
Yes.
I think it really showcased the strengths and weaknesses of both of the players. And, you know, sOrry, I feel like you can tell that he is one of these next-generation Terrans that are taking over.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
he's good,
It's
man.
really, really clear.
By the way, it looked like he was supposed to win that ZVT earlier. He's not even supposed to be in the losers match. What if Sharp loses here?
Oh, it's a real possibility. Like, he is very strong in TvT, but his style, again, if you're looking to be the best TvT player in the world, you wish you had Sharp's late game, but his early game doesn't put him in the right position.
He's so good at moving into different positions, at dominating in very tough spots, but honestly, yeah, he's always in a disadvantage after about the first 8 minutes.
Pretty much.
I believe that we have, oh, hello. I believe we have one of our players running to the restroom, but we'll be going to this next match as soon as we're ready.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you are just now tuning in, we have a whole other best of 5 that should be right around the corner here.
Yeah,
After this TvT is done, because I think
Snow versus Soma.
Yeah, I think, you know, knowing how long TvT can be, we should just, as this is finishing up, be probably going into that ZVP.
Somewhat likely.
Yeah.
So, so far we have sOrry up 2-1, right? Our next map going to be Fighting Spirit. This is a map where it's one of the maps that can truly be cut in half.
Yeah, all the expansions, minus that one expansion in the middle, are on the rim of the map. So once you get it, it's hard to push into it. I do look forward to seeing what kind of openers we're going to have. We've had plenty of Vulture race games. I don't know if it's going to happen this time around, but
Tank Vulture can be very strong here if you're close spawns. Obviously, if you're cross Vulture Wars, if anyone goes for a fast expansion, that mixes things up as well.
Yeah.
Whether it's factory expand or command center first or whatever. Also, you know, being a map that can be split in half, it's one of the maps in the pool where it's not unlikely to have a very long game that possibly ends in battle cruisers. If it gets very scrappy, obviously you don't get there, but that's the only way to really control and break the center, which comes into play in TvT.
yeah. Again, sOrry playing way better than I was expecting. I think same for you, Artosis. We thought our Zerg player was going to crush. Frankly, even though he played well in that series, I thought Sharp was probably going to dominate him. I mean, it's Sharp, you know. He always kills it in TvT unless he's against Last or Flash. But
pretty much.
sOrry played very well, and we're going to see how he does. By the way, our next game, I think it's almost ready. Yeah, we have sOrry now joining the lobby.
Yeah.
He's done with his restroom break.
Okay.
I'm jonesing for my restroom break. That was a long TvT. Okay.
I'm excited, man. Let's see it, Sharp. See what you got.
Yeah, let's see if Sharp can even this out 2-2,
God,
or
I
if
hope
sOrry
so.
eliminates Sharp here with a 3-1 victory.
Go.
Go, go, go.
Go,
We're
go,
ready.
go, go, go,
I
go,
thought
go,
it was
go.
going to happen. Okay, both players are hugging the left side of the map. When you have spawns like this, by the way, sOrry in the upper left, Sharp in the bottom left. When you have spawns like this, it can be very interesting because both sides are basically stretching towards their right side of the map. So blue stretching towards the upper right, Sharp stretching towards the bottom right as far as the expansion race goes.
I would say, my personal opinion, sOrry's position slightly better. His attack path is towards the back of Sharp's main, and he can cover his third base a little bit more easily. Not a gigantic deal in TvT, definitely things you can play around. But now we just got to kind of wait to see the openers. because that's really going to dictate how the early flow of the game is going to go.
Yeah, again, we've had a lot of Vulture arms races in this matchup, with these two players at least. Nobody going for any super cheesy rushes. I find TvT, and correct me if I'm wrong, Artosis, because you're really the expert in this matchup here. I find that there's not a lot of real all-ins in TvT. There's not a lot of real crazy gotcha cheeses. It seems like you have a build order. Actually, you have so many different build orders that are all fairly good, but you got to know how to use them. You got to understand what your opponent's doing.
I would say that that's a pretty good assessment for top-level TvT, but until you get to top-level TvT, there's a lot of really terrible all-ins. People do things like
really?
2-factory, they go for siege rushes, they go for 2-port wraith. So you definitely see, like, if you play Terran on the ladder, you will run into all manner of garbage.
Really?
But yeah, the thing is that the main builds in TvT, the things like factory expand, command center first, well, command center first less than gasless expand, but just barracks expand and factory expand. Once you get really good at them, they kind of hold all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just you have to be able to scout and from the tiniest clues know what they're doing. And then the cheese starts to disappear.
So we have the gas being taken here by Sharp.
Yep.
And
Sorry as well.
Yes.
So this is the 4th game in a row, and we haven't had even one gasless expand. Really says a lot about these players. And I'm really not surprised either, because they're both guys that like bio and TVZ as well. So these are virtue nerds.
Virtue nerds?
Virtue nerds. People who go command center first and gasless expand, they only care about the build orders tasteless.
Yeah, they're all about the builds.
They only want the fastest cars, okay? They don't care about expanding their minds. Yeah. So
let's see if Sharp can once again get behind.
Oh, sorry.
And then fight back.
Oh, okay. Sharp actually pulled all his SCVs off gas for a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
So he's going to scout and see, yeah, there's just one SCV mining gas, at least for now, which generally telegraphs that we're going to have a command center pretty quickly here.
It's funny. Sharp takes all his SCVs off gas, but then does not send his SCV in time to make the command center before SOrry does.
I know, it's kind of funny looking, right?
Yeah, it is. Cute little poke there by Sharp.
And again, guys, do not forget that we also have another best of 5 after this, a PVZ.
That's right.
With Snow playing against Soma.
Yeah, I hope it's a really good match. I love these matches not being 3-0s, by the way.
Yeah.
Remember that season of KSL where everything was 3-0?
Yes.
You shake your head, yes. I'm like, Tasis, we have microphones, not cameras.
I'm so tired. I'm so jet lagged from our trip. I woke up at like 6:30 this morning.
Yeah.
We've been going all day, all night.
Indeed. And we will continue to do so.
We're not stopping. We're not backing down.
No.
My eyes might be red and tired, and there's bags under them. Ooh, is he
Look
gonna
at
catch
this
that?
move from Sharp, okay? This is crazy talk.
Yeah, this is crazy do, I think.
And a 3rd Vulture has already come out, so Sharp just gave away 2 Marines and an SCV.
Yeah.
And Sharp doesn't have an add-on. Oh, guys, I think Sharp's going to be out of the KSL.
No.
This is
Oh my God.
not
Oh my
optimal.
God.
Oh,
He's
his
gonna be able to
micro is off
repair! Oh, he didn't save it though.
even. Ooh.
I'm surprised he attacked into that. He's pretty crazy.
Ah, okay.
Eee.
Yeah, if he didn't have that armory finishing, I was just going to be like, guys, I don't know what this build is, but it's garbage. No, but since he has that, he can actually go into Goliath Vulture. This is actually a really cute play.
And funnily enough, Goliaths can fight Vultures if the Vultures are in low enough numbers.
Yeah, they beat Vultures in the early game. So Sharp just continually making units here. Sorry, I actually got supply capped. Look at that. 44 for 100,000 years.
That's not good. That's not good. That's not good.
How long are we going to be on 44 or 44?
Maybe 100,000 years.
Jeez Louise.
Oh, he's done.
Okay, so
We were a little bit off on that prediction.
yeah. It was close, though. It was like 90,000 years. So what sOrry needs to do here is kind of like get in, mix it up a little bit.
You know
especially
what?
This is
the fact
huge.
that the Goliaths are over there hitting the barracks is going to be a disaster here.
A true disaster. You are right.
A true loss here today for Sharp fans, but let's see. I mean, maybe Sharp stabilizes. The problem is that that's a lot of SCV kills, and you know what? Most of the Vultures got away. And guys, word on the street is that Terran can repair their mechanical units.
Yeah.
Even if it's cheaper to just buy a new Vulture. No, sorry, it was a dumb joke. Dumb technology joke. Yeah, he got a lot of SCVs there. sOrry has not really lost any workers. He can continue to build up more and more. He's now getting tanks in the mix.
Yeah, and
I don't think we have any tanks for Sharp right now, right?
No, he's just getting his first add-on, so he will have to get into siege tanks here heavily. sOrry, obviously, doing that. As soon as you see the Goliaths, you're just like, okay, I just need tanks.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get ahead in the tank count, which is, I mean, we were talking about at the beginning, it's the most important thing. Now, these Goliaths, he should be semi-roaming here, looking to pick off units, because, again, early game Goliaths can really fight well. It's just they don't scale.
I love the mines being laid out here.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God! Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Wow.
Yeah, they're actually, Goliaths can kind of just shoot mines as they come up for the most part.
Keep in mind, guys, the Goliaths, there's no animation for their shot to connect. As the animation comes out of the little Goliath guns,
yeah, they
it
also
actually connects with the target immediately. Unlike, for instance, a Vulture trying to shoot a grenade at a mine, or most of all, a Dragoon trying to shoot its little plasma, whatever it's called.
Their ground attack also acquires its target. I don't know what we actually call this, but it does it like quicker than anything else.
The Goliath?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shocking. Only the ground attack, though.
Yeah, no, the air attack
is something
is
like where
slower.
at the moment that it gets vision of it, it just
yeah, no,
pops
the
out.
shot comes right out. It's yeah, it's kind of weird, but hey, StarCraft.
Hey.
So sOrry taking his third base. I really like the play. He's got a nice spread out in the map. He has some mines, which are almost more for vision right now than anything else, to see anything incoming. You can see that because he's spreading them across the map. That's what he intends them for, even. These are not mines to really lay a trap because there's so many Goliaths you don't expect them to hit.
Yeah.
But just seeing where Sharp is moving to will allow sOrry to move into a great defensive position.
So now we're trying to see if sOrry can actually truly capitalize on the advantage that he's gotten here. It has been a theme not just in this series, but in all of Sharp's games, where he seems to get behind and then play like a god, and either barely come back or go down in a brawl, in a flurry here.
Yeah. Well, he's finally starting his third command, as sOrry's is getting very close to finishing. Build order-wise, there's no question that sOrry is ahead this entire time.
It truly is incredible that Sharp always ends up with a build that does not put him ahead.
Yeah.
That's so insane to me.
It's really weird. The style he plays is very much older. Actually, this is like, I played TvT exactly like Sharp for a long time, where I wouldn't even know what to do if I was ahead in the early game.
Oh, really?
It's hard to learn these other Vulture builds.
You know what's funny about this, Artosis? I remember talking to Yosh, who was an amazing foreign player
Yep.
in the United States, and he said he never attacks first. He just tries to let them get ahead and figure out what to do. And, you know, he was an incredibly successful player, but there's something to that, right? When you get that lead, then you're more exposed in different areas, so you try to look for that weakness.
It's one of the really nice things about this game as well, is you can play whatever style you want, however you want to play. Just you do you in StarCraft. And, I mean, Sharp is good enough to win championships. He's been in the finals of KSL before. Hasn't won one yet, but, I mean, he's on that short list of players where you wouldn't be surprised if he won one.
Right, yeah.
So Sharp is controlling slightly more of the map right now. Obviously, we see he's down over 20 supply, which, again, kind of normal for Sharp. The position he's taken, I don't feel like it's even that strong. He just, the way he plays, like, I get it. It's just, like, he's somewhat defending his 9 o'clock base, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like right now with sOrry, okay, I like that he's moving out here to this side. sOrry, though, could punch through the defense that's in front of 9 because the Sharp has so much army over here, but sOrry doesn't know that yet.
That's true. That's true.
Now, this mine should give it off.
It's so funny the role that mines play because a lot of it is just to scout and to prey out because if you see their army coming, boom, you can immediately try to set up defense to hold that off.
Okay, he just scanned where it is. Oh, is he actually going to attack that side? This is not the most valuable location, but I think sOrry's decided he has enough units to break through, and he's right.
It almost seems like it's early on to have a fight this far out, but he's going to take it, and he's got enough vultures here and enough tanks he can start to close in here. He's trying to loop around and then box Sharp into a quadrant of the map instead of it being cut half and half.
Okay, so this right here, I mean, it looks like a funny place to have a battle, but it's actually a very logical place to have a battle. If sOrry, because look at the supplies, right? sOrry's at 140. If he just rallies down right now, reinforces his siege line, he is controlling one more base than... Oh, wait, no, he's not. That's actually exactly equal. I'm sorry. No, he's sorry. I'm Artosis. But yeah, anyways, he's taken this... It is a very important place because if Sharp holds 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, then he's up a base, right? He's taken one of his opponent's bases.
So, sOrry is going to regroup now in the middle. Again, it's the same ideas that we've had in the other games where sOrry has a lead, but Sharp is so tactful. Okay, I like this. I like this. Seesaw the action back over here where, you know, this is a neglected part of the map, and actually, this is the part of the map that is supposed to cover the most valuable location that Sharp had recently acquired, the third base just to the left of this screenshot over here, right there. And if you can get in here, I don't see any easy way to reinforce because those tanks for Sharp are all the way, there they are, they're all the way over there. They can't even get over here to easily defend. The SCVs can take a ton of damage. Oh!
Yeah, this is like a game-winning move from sOrry.
Yeah, and I think sOrry, in a moment, in a flash of brilliance, identifies, okay, this is what I got to do. And he's going to be able to pull it off. And Sharp tries to do a counter drop, but there's enough over here to defend. Now there's a counter push.
You said it really well, and you mentioned he seesawed the action, right? Sharp had so much attention on the right-hand side of the map that he was punished for leaving just 3 siege tanks on the left-hand side.
Now, there's a push coming up here. I don't believe there's that much to defend, but I think if sOrry just takes the rest of his army and pushes onto the push, like we're seeing right here, that's all he needs to do.
I'm not sure what those Goliaths are attacking, but it's not
target
helpful.
the tanks! Why are only Goliaths being targeted here?
Between a siege tank line and a siege tank line.
Yep. By the way, Sharp does have the bottom center. sOrry does have such a comical amount of supply. I don't know how this could possibly go on for so much longer, but
he's only 40 supply up to, so Sharp is used to this.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's gonna push the main.
Oh man, this is a great move.
Yeah, and
I hadn't even thought of this.
Yeah, I guess since he killed that position off, he can actually filter his army around any other defenses, go right over to where production is, and now force Sharp to defend his infrastructure instead of positions really on the map, and we see already tanks scrambling to come down here and try to defend.
And this is not necessarily a killing move, but it's so cost efficient that it may as well be. To clear that is so annoying. What is Sharp supposed to do from here? sOrry's taking the rest of the map.
He's supply block now too. How annoying.
Yeah. sOrry just moving in.
And so, as we continue on in this series, the question is, can Sharp come up with anything to try to recuperate? Now the natural's being pushed in. This may be the killing blow, in fact. Wow, sOrry, what a crazy series of games here. He's just playing better than Sharp.
Yeah, he's having great macro. He has really solid understandings of the current fundamentals of how to play TvT correctly.
Oh my God, and now Vulture's killing off all these SCVs over here.
And you hear that scan, that's Sharp's I'm almost ready to GG scan. He's like checking, oh, do you have that base? Oh crap, you do.
Yeah.
It was probably, I think he scanned right there, but.
I know, I thought the same thing as you.
Yeah.
A lot of times, guys, Terran players scan everywhere on the map just to see, you know, okay, what actually happened here. I don't want to watch the replay.
Yes, that's exactly it. You scan, you're like, did he have that base? He did. Oh, I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate you and I hate me.
GG, the Sharp goes down. What a weird result. Sorry. Today is really his day, man.
No, he's played very well today, and now he takes down Sharp in this TvT series.
And there is a chance he might get a rematch against his Zerg nemesis where he was supposed to win.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance of that. And that means, of course, sOrry will play again next week on the Decider Day, which is 1 week from today. Sharp, unfortunately, out of KSL. This is a guy that's made it to the finals before, but having a rough run of it this year. You know, Season 2 last year, at the end of the year, he did make it all the way to play against Sulky in that finals and ended up losing. But he lost out in the round of 16 last season, and here he is, first person out of his group, unfortunately.
I gotta go to the bathroom. Hope we go to a commercial break soon here.
Oh my gosh.
I have had so much caffeine and water. Just like Sharp in most of his games, normally I get behind because of jet lag, but fight back harder than any other caster.
Yeah.
And managed to come out with a win. Unfortunately, Sharp was not able to do that this game. I am kind of, sort of still here, though. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back, it will be the final best of 5. A PVZ here at the KSL. KSL. No? We're not closing out yet?
I guess not.
Didn't it seem like that screenshot would be like a closing shot, you know?
Maybe. Well.
There it is. There it is. I was close. All right. We'll be back in just a little bit. Don't go away, or else.